Hello and welcome to 99.5, the radio channel of the people. I'm your host, Keegan, coming at you again with a spicy one today for all you Saskatchewan listeners. Today we will be talking about the energy production, usage, and what the future looks for you. Enter a poll down below. If you feel like you would have any questions, we will be taking your rounded questions up to send to the provincial government at the end. With me, I have Emmett and Rowan. They're both professionals in their fields. So let's start this. Emmett, so what are the current energy productions that Saskatchewan creates?
Hi, yes. The current energy production in Saskatchewan is mainly non-renewable, 81% actually. 47% of that is from burning coal, and the other 34% is from natural gas. The other 19% is renewable energy, with hydro producing 14%, wind producing 4%, and geothermal making 1%. In fact, Saskatchewan actually produces refined petroleum, but the amount they produce is under 0.1.
Alright, thank you for the information, Emmett. We will now be moving to Rowan with the next question. Where is most of this energy produced?
Hey Keegan, I'm happy I can join you today. I'm reporting out here live from Saskatchewan. Here, energy facilities and where the facilities produce energy are spread out from the mid to lower section of the province, with little to no production made in the upper regions. Coal is produced near the border of America.
Cool. So Emmett, by any chance, do you know the energy usage or like who uses it the most or something along those lines?
Yeah, most of the usage is from industries taking 58% of the electricity needed. Then it is followed by transportation with 21%, then commercial with 14%, and finally residential with 7%.
Also, most of the energy produced is sold away or exchanged for more petroleum from different provinces or countries. Petroleum is required to be refined by Saskatchewan trade regulations, so it costs a lot of money to get. However, it is one of the most essential energy sources currently.
That is correct. Saskatchewan uses 46% natural gas, 41% petroleum-based products, around 12% of just straight-out electricity, and 1% from biofuels.
That's a lot to take in for one seating, so we're going to cut to commercial break and hope to see you when we get back. What? Are we going to cut out or? We're not? Okay. Seems like we don't have a commercial break for this segment, so we'll just keep rolling with it. So we touched lightly on with you guys talking about petroleum, but is this energy need being met, or if not, how are we importing it into our systems?
Right now, Saskatchewan has these agreements in place that will supply extra energy if they were to have a hot or cold spike causing a shortage of energy. This energy would be coming from Manitoba, North Dakota, and Alberta if it is ever needed.
They don't need to import, but rather they are in the position to export goods.
Okay, next question. So you said it produces an excess amount of energy. Would this cause any challenges to come up, and if so, how do they handle it?
If there's too much energy running on one line, it can overload power lines, which is bad for their integrity, as well as sending more electricity than a place would need. To combat this, they send extra electricity to their neighbors, which we told you about earlier.
Sounds good. Are there any limitations to what energy Saskatchewan can use?
Saskatchewan is actually quite lucky and has little to no limitations on the energy it can use. It already has everything set in place other than solar energy production, and that is only because of solar intermittency, which means it can only run during the day and not at night. So it does not generate enough electricity. The only other limitation is that some of the main power sources, such as petroleum, are bad for the environment and unsustainable.
So, Saskatchewan has no limitations other than preserving the earth and trying to keep it as for however long it can, and from the different plant activities. Sounds clear to me. Next question. How is the current provincial energy plan causing challenges for the economy and society today?
They plan to double its renewable energy from around 25% to 50% in the future. This will mean more taxes for the people to install these new devices. As well, there may be more monetarization of your energy consumption, causing you to use less for the government.
Also, all of these renewable energy sources aren't always the best. Solar panels take up a lot of space and use harmful chemicals to make, as well as wind turbines taking up a large amount of space.
So that means there's still harm from these new products. So maybe we should take it more slowly, or should we get it done now? Who knows? Back on track. Will Saskatchewan be affected by climate change, or in changes of how the climate works?
Anywhere that's hot has a much greater risk of forest fires, and places that are cold would start to change into the places that were hot originally.
Okay, so now, or I hope we are taking a break now, to take some breathers and get a drink of water. And I'll see you later. You still haven't? You kidding me? No. We do not have any commercial breaks, so I'll just keep going with the show. What are some of the new energy sources that are being explored by Saskatchewan right now?
Because of global warming becoming a greater issue and people becoming more aware of the matter, the government is taking steps to use more renewable energy products and explore their variety.
Makes sense. What are the people's perspectives on these topics? Do you know?
As a massive group, we've accepted that we should move towards this goal. It will be costly in the beginning and people may get mad, but the benefits of this outweigh the negatives by a landslide.
Now we are on to our last section. Time for me to ask those hard-hitting questions that you guys may or may not know right now. First, could you outline some of the provincial government's plans?
So, the basic plan is by 2030 to have double their percent of renewable energy generation capacity. This means the amount Saskatchewan can produce in power plants or other generation units will be doubled. Storage will also double. To do this, they are planning on introducing upgrades to the current generators and installing more facilities.
This will then hopefully drop the carbon emissions by 40%. Another thing that they are trying to get people to do is install their own generators for their house and be able to sell it back to the government for credits or money back.
Some of the positives would be that Saskatchewan, if they pull this plan off, will set an example for other provinces and countries, and hopefully these provinces and countries will follow in Saskatchewan's footsteps. They are also showing to be thinking of future generations and moving away from the old ways.
This will make a 50-50 split for renewable and non-renewable sources. This will show improvement from an almost 20-80 split. Some of the cons would be that these projects are very time sensitive, and as well, they will cost a lot of money.
Well, thank you guys so much for participating on our radio show. Now it's time for your questions. The top 5 most commonly asked ones in no particular order is: to achieve the 2030 goal, how much would the tax raise from what it is now? While the province is trying to increase the renewable energy being used, are companies and people supposed to make an effort to use less fossil fuels? How can companies and people make an effort to reaching these goals? In the dominant coal and natural gas industries, are they against this new power plant? Where will all the people who worked at these coal plants and natural gas plants go when they eventually shut down or lower in their manufacturing? Well, thanks for tuning in and your questions to the best radio talk show on the planet. I'm Keegan, and I hope I see you guys next time.
Thank you for watching.